Imagine being the defending champion of a professional basketball league and suddenly being offered $10 million to play one game against a boys' high school team. That's the challenge now facing the Las Vegas Aces, at least publicly. Media personality Clay Travis says he'll provide $10 million to the winner of a game between the reigning WNBA champions and a boys' high school state championship team that he selects. But this story didn't begin with the Aces. It began with Indiana Fever guard Sophie Cunningham, and a few comments that turned one basketball player into the center of a national political debate. Sophie Cunningham is a veteran WNBA guard who spent 6 seasons with the Phoenix Mercury before joining the Indiana Fever. She's developed a reputation as a physical, outspoken player who's willing to defend her teammates, especially Caitlin Clark. During a lengthy ESPN profile published in July 2026, Cunningham was asked about transgender participation in women's sports. Cunningham said that she tries to extend love to everyone, but also believes young girls should not be required to compete against what she described as biological men. When reporters asked her about the comments the following day, Cunningham didn't retreat. She called her position common sense, said she wanted to protect girls and women in sports, and later posted the message, "I said what I said." The Indiana Fever responded carefully. The organization said its players are adults with their own views, while emphasizing that the team intends to welcome fans from every background and treat people respectfully. The WNBA's collective bargaining agreement says that only women may play in the league. However, the eligibility language doesn't clearly define the word women or establish a detailed public policy specifically addressing transgender players. Cunningham's remarks quickly spread far beyond basketball. Supporters praised her for saying something they believe other female athletes are afraid to say publicly. Critics accused her of using demeaning language toward transgender women and contributing to hostility against transgender people. The controversy then followed the Fever from city to city. Small rallies appeared outside games in Seattle and Portland. Cunningham supporters carried signs thanking her, while counter-protesters displayed transgender flags and signs supporting transgender athletes. At a game in Minnesota, Lynx coach Cheryl Reeve wore a shirt reading, "Trans kids belong." Cunningham and Reeve spoke privately at mid-court before the game. Reeve later said that they disagreed on some matters, but shared an interest in using their platforms to educate people. Caitlin Clark attempted to stay out of the dispute, saying eligibility decisions should be handled by leagues and governing bodies, while the Fever needed to remain focused on basketball. One particularly tense incident occurred in Seattle. 2 teenage Cunningham supporters displayed signs near the court. Seattle Storm co-owner Celeste Keaton became involved in an exchange with them. The WNBA later fined Keaton and suspended her for 5 games, and the Storm apologized while reaffirming its commitment to a respectful environment for fans. Cunningham said she had no involvement in organizing the rallies and was not worried that the controversy would distract her team. That brings us to Clay Travis. Travis is a lawyer turned sports and political commentator. He founded the website Outkick in 2011 and sold it to Fox Corporation in 2021. He continues to host programs for Outkick and co-hosts the nationally syndicated Clay Travis and Buck Sexton radio show. He's outspoken, politically conservative, and frequently critical of the WNBA. As the backlash against Cunningham intensified, Travis and Outkick framed her as one of the few WNBA players willing to acknowledge physical differences between male and female athletes. Then Travis brought back an old challenge. Back in 2023, Travis argued that a strong boys' high school state championship team would defeat the best team in the WNBA. Las Vegas Aces guard Chelsea Gray responded with one word: dumbass. Former NBA player Patrick Beverley also disagreed, arguing that WNBA players are highly skilled, physical, and much tougher than many people realize. Travis responded by offering $1 million for a game between the Aces and a boys' state champion of his choosing. The Aces never accepted, and the game never happened. Now, 3 years later, Travis has raised the offer from $1 million to $10 million. His proposed opponent is again the Las Vegas Aces, who won the 2025 WNBA championship by sweeping the Phoenix Mercury in the finals. It was Las Vegas's third championship since 2022. Travis says that if the Aces defeat the boys team, the Aces receive the $10 million. If the boys win, he says the boys team receives the money and can distribute it among its members. He also proposed showing the game on pay-per-view and donating the profits to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, which assists families of fallen military members and first responders. It's important to understand what this challenge is and what it is not. Sophie Cunningham did not request the game. She plays for Indiana, not Las Vegas. Travis connected his renewed offer to the Cunningham controversy because he believes a boys versus WNBA game would demonstrate why women's sports should remain separated by sex. But the game wouldn't directly settle every question involving transgender athletes. A boys' state championship team would consist of athletes who have gone through male puberty without restrictions. Transgender eligibility debates often involve additional questions about age, hormone treatment, competitive level, and the rules of individual governing bodies. So the proposed game would be a dramatic sporting event, not a controlled scientific experiment. There are also major details missing. Travis hasn't publicly identified the boys' team. There's no announced date, venue, television agreement, or signed contract. The sides would need to agree on rules, including the size of the basketball, the shot clock, and which competition standards would apply. Insurance, player contracts, league approval, and the distribution of money to high school athletes would also have to be addressed. And there is no guarantee the Aces would want to participate. Accepting would create an enormous spectacle, but it could also place professional players in a game designed largely to make a political point. As of August 3rd, 2026, neither the Aces nor the WNBA had publicly accepted the new $10 million offer. No opponent had been named, and no game had been scheduled. So, at the moment, this is still a public challenge rather than an actual basketball event. Clay Travis has put an eye-catching number on the table. Sophie Cunningham remains firm in her position. Critics and supporters continue to appear at fever games, and the WNBA is being pressured to explain exactly where it stands. Whether the Aces ever play the game is uncertain, but Travis has already achieved one part of his goal. He has transformed a debate over eligibility in women's sports into a $10 million question that people across the country are now arguing about. And until the Aces respond, the ball, quite literally, is in their court.